a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Well, this is being taped. Let's see, it's the 23rd of December, and in the Fraser Valley, and we're having another snowstorm. My guest was going to be here with me. However, because of the roads and the weather, she determined that maybe Zoom would be a better option. And of course, can't help but agree with her. Now, she works at the Chilliwack Musical Arts Society. She's also a piano teacher at the Chilliwack Academy of Music, originally from Singapore. Teng MacKay. Welcome to the show, Teng.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for having me.
For sure. Now, the first thing I have to ask is, how did you end up in Chilliwack?
Oh, we had to move here with my husband's job. So we came here, and this is my mother-in-law's house.
Oh, okay. Very good. So how long have you been here?
About 30 years.
Good for you. That's really good. Now, tell me about your musical background before we get into your teaching and being part of the Arts Society.
Oh, okay. So I started piano lessons at 7, and then never quite stopped, and got my teaching certificate and started piano teaching like 30 years ago, even. Yeah, more than that.
Oh, okay. So did you move to Chilliwack originally? This is where you settled when you came to Canada?
When I first came here, my cousin introduced my husband to me, and we lived in Vancouver first.
So that must have been a change from Vancouver to Chilliwack.
Yes, it's quite a big change. Kind of miss the busyness and the long hours that shops are open. Yes.
Yeah, so it is a different atmosphere, although Chilliwack is kind of building up and changing, right?
Yes, it is.
Now, you work at both a piano teacher at the Academy of Music and, as I said, the Musical Arts Society. Where did you begin? Which job was first?
I started teaching at the Academy first here in Chilliwack. There was a lady, her name is Jean Scott. She introduced me to the Academy, and then I started teaching there about 28 years ago.
So what's the difference between the Academy of Music and the Musical Arts Society?
Well, the Musical Arts Society, a few friends of us, we started it a few years ago. It's not really a society where it's too many activities are happening. At the Academy, it's like a school.
Yes.
So there are many other teachers teaching different instruments.
Right. Yeah. Because I remember years ago when I lived in Ontario, my children went to the Academy of Music, so I understand. But I didn't quite understand what the Musical Arts Society provided. You know.
Yeah. Well, one or two teachers from there, we started it because we were gonna have summer camps, which we couldn't actually get a good interest in it, so it's put on hold. So it didn't really happen. That's why we're still not doing that part yet.
Okay, so explain to me a little bit more about what you wanted to do there with this society.
Okay, so we had two teachers wanting to do a summer camp, but for band instruments, as well as me doing some keyboard or singing music type of activities, but the response wasn't good. We couldn't quite get it going.
Right. That surprises me, because I would think, especially the band instruments, I would think that would be very popular.
We thought so too. That's why we started it.
Yeah,
so,
maybe.
I guess.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, but I guess, people have other activities to do, or maybe during the year they already have been doing things that they are band related, so they want to do something different. So.
Yeah, well, maybe you could, just thinking about something like I used to be with the Chilliwack Optimist Club, and one of the things we began was giving out awards or financial awards to people who wrote an original song, like young people who wrote original song, and with always an optimistic theme. So if you were to hook up with maybe like somebody like the Optimist Club to work together or something, maybe that way you can get an interest. Or it doesn't have to be them. That was just a, an idea, right? Something like that, because a lot of young people came out. Most of them with either bands or young girls singing. They were just absolutely marvelous, playing instruments and stuff. And I would see how they could benefit tremendously from a camp, musical camp, right?
Yes.
Because that's
a good suggestion.
Yeah, because some of them were shy, they're singing, but their voices were a little crowded or a little quiet, or they didn't know how to move on stage and stuff. So I think all of that would be just tremendous help. Like if I was interested in that, I would think, oh, a camp, yes.
You're right. Yeah, there are many talents in Chilliwack. Surprisingly, there are kids that are very talented. So
I totally agree. Absolutely. So anyway, you never know, right? Maybe it just a matter of getting the word out a little bit stronger or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think now from the, I can't quite remember what goes on at the Chilliwack Academy of Music or any Academy of Music, because they're all basically set up the same way, right? But do they have concerts at the end of the year?
Yes, we have year-end recitals. Then the teachers individually, they have their own recitals. December usually is also a popular time because Christmas music is learned, and we would have Christmas recitals, again individually as well as a group. That's one in the Chilliwack Academy of Music that they call the Christmas Cafe.
Right.
That they invite students from different teachers that plays like piano or sing or violin to perform at that cafe. So it's pretty interesting.
So on an average, how many students would you personally have?
Right now I have over 25 students.
Ooh.
And I would, but I only see them mostly about half an hour to 45 minutes each, because that's all, you could set homework and stuff to practice for the week. Very good. Yeah, for sure.
Now, I would imagine there must be some who really stand out over the years, maybe a student you think, oh, they're just a natural.
Oh yeah, there are a few that I've seen it. They actually take very short time to learn music. It's they're very gifted. I have one recently that went to University of Victoria and did very well. They are a different breed. They learn things differently, and they're gifted in their own to begin with. So, and then with the hard work that they put in, they got really good.
Right. Yeah. One of the problems my son had, because he could play by ear, one of the teachers had told me, like, make sure he learns the notes so that he's not playing by ear. But he found that really difficult because he would say to me, Mom, that's wrong. So have you encountered anything like that?
Yes. So there are students that, because sometimes they say if you're gifted for a year, it's very hard for them to look at a paper and see that this is what they need to do, because all the music that they need is in their head already. They could hear it. So they playing it out would just make sense. So there's no need to read music. But you're right. Whoever that advised your son, if you don't read music, there's only one way. You can only hear something and play something. Whereas if you read music, you can play another person's composition, or you can join a band or an orchestra, because they would require note reading, and play as a group.
Right. Yeah.
So it's important to learn how to read music, I would say.
Right. And it's also important to have music in your life, right?
Exactly.
If at all
Very much.
possible. I mean, I know not everybody's in that situation financially where they can send their children to a music school, but I think music is one of those things that touches everybody in some way, right?
Yes, and I think sad to say, not enough music is being taught at schools.
Mhm.
Like I remember when we went to school and when I was young, we had music almost every other day. So 3 times a week. I heard it's sometimes once a week or not even at school.
Right.
So I, I had to do more at a piano lesson now than 10 decades ago because
Mhm.
there's more to teach because there isn't any
Right.
basic fundamentals that were
Right.
covered at school.
Right. Yeah, we didn't even have anything like that when I was a kid.
Oh,
So,
okay.
well, that was a long time ago. But my children certainly had some music in school. So, no, for yourself, do you play other instruments other than the piano?
No, I don't. I only play the piano.
Okay.
So
But you could, right? Because one of the things I realized that a lot of people who play one instrument can transition into another instrument.
yes, you're right. Because after a while, it's about learning the rhythm. Music is two things: the notes and the rhythm. So if you know one, very likely if you are interested in learning another instrument, it's not very difficult to figure out. It's based on the same thing. You
Right.
only get to choose what you like. So
Right. Now, do you have older like adults come for classes?
yes, I do have. I used to have like 2 or 3 adults. Now I have one. So the other one is coming back. And these are adults that really love piano or music in general.
Right.
They would order music, they find music on the internet, bring them to their lesson, and we cover them. So,
Very good.
yes.
Right. I tried organ, but my problem is I don't know how to relax. I'm very tense usually, and so I didn't get a nice flow, a nice rhythm. I wasn't able to get out of my own head, right?
Well, I would say organ is a bit more difficult than a piano because there are two manuals that you have to look at one time.
Yeah.
Eventually, I would say in the beginning you do one manual, but after that there are more. So
Yes.
maybe you need to play little tunes to begin with first.
Right. Yeah. Well, now I don't have an organ, but I had the same problem like as a teenager. I had an inexpensive guitar. I don't even know how I got it, but I was no good at tuning the tightening because I would over tighten the strings, and that's because I'd go and keep going. It's like I didn't know when to stop, so I'd break strings all the time. So I realized I didn't because I live in this headspace of intensity, that unless I learn to relax and just listen to the sounds, I could never get past that.
Well, everything takes time.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure if you keep at something,
Yes,
it will come after a while.
for sure. And those I just didn't stick to things, when I was young like that. But I also know that nowadays, like I'm going to talk about guitar because you probably know some of it anyway, that they have these tuners, right? That's what I had needed. So,
And if you could get back to guitar, I think that's a great instrument. You could bring guitar everywhere.
yes, I was telling one of my sisters too, because you can go on YouTube and learn from YouTube, right? And get guitar lessons. And it was in my opinion, it was fairly easy to learn those notes, the strings, the chords and all that, piano, I don't know because I've never really, like, other than the organ, I never really stuck to it long enough to know. Anyway, changing the subject a little bit, what happened during COVID? Were you still doing online teaching?
Yes, I did about a handful, like about 4 or 5, but most of my students stopped for a little bit. Then as soon as it was allowed, actually, Dr. Bonnie Hendry did say that if we stick to our circle, we could
Right.
still teach. So I did see my students privately at their homes still.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would go to them, or did
Yes.
they come to you?
I only have a studio outside my teaching, so I'm mostly a mobile teacher. So I go to my students, or on Tuesdays I teach at the academy.
Right. Oops. I forgot to turn, sorry, I forgot to turn my phone down. My apologies.
No problem. That's okay.
Actually, it was turned down, so I don't know why I got that. That's weird. Listen, weird things happen in my place with electronics. Seriously, you know, like, oh, and anyway, I'll talk about that another time. But so, okay, so now the holidays are coming up. So are you stopped for the holidays now?
Yes.
And
So
when-
basically, if the students come out from their school, their snow school, I don't teach because it's easier. Then they don't say, oh, is that piano lesson? So during this time, and when school starts in the first week of January, then we start piano lessons.
So now if somebody wanted to join, get classes at the Academy of Music, what's the contact information?
Oh, they can call the office.
So just
604
Chilliwack Academy of Music, look that up and
Okay.
you could find that, right?
Yes.
And I think the Chilliwack Art Society would be a good thing too for people to get involved with, right?
Yes. Well, we like I said, we haven't done too much yet in that society. Partly because the other teachers are getting busy, and
Yeah.
we haven't quite go back to wanting to do summer camps and stuff. So for now, I am a mobile teacher. I go to my students' home and I teach at the academy.
Very good. Well, I think that's all for now, unless you had something to add. Did you have anything you wanted to add, or we are? No, yes?
No,
No.
but thank you so much for having me.
My
This is
pleasure.
very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to tell people how we met, right?
Yes.
You were one of the volunteers at when we were doing the cupcake festival, helping out at the Panago Pizza in Sardis. So they were kind enough. The owner, Lucienne, was kind enough to let us use her ovens, and so you were helping out there, which was really nice. That's how I met you. So that was kind of fun, you know.
Yes, and it was very fun, and I feel good about helping people that
It
way.
does,
So,
yeah. And we're planning it again next year, but this time we're doing it in September because by the time we were delivering, it was pretty cold.
yes. Okay. Yeah. So you were the cupcakes okay with? I guess cold is better than warm because you don't want to do it
Yeah.
in summertime.
We didn't want to do it in the summer. No, somebody had suggested that. And I said, no, because we don't know. We can't predict if we're going to have these really extreme hot summers, right? So we figured September might be good. It's not usually as hot. And the cupcakes wouldn't have a chance, like the icing wouldn't have a chance to melt.
That's right. Well, at first I saw your notice at Facebook, and then a friend was going to volunteer, but she works at schools. So she asked if I would like to volunteer, and I said, for sure, because the mornings are good for me.
Yeah, it was great.
So that's how I met you, and this is very nice that we.
Yeah, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it, and I appreciated meeting you and you coming to help out. We'll have to keep in touch for September when we start over again, right?
I would love to.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say to the audience, thank you so much for watching the show. You've been listening to Teng MacKay. I was going to say Teng MacKay, and a piano teacher at the Chilliwack Academy of Music, and a longtime teacher, that's for sure. And yeah, I hope we continue to watch the show, and whatever day you're watching this or time, I know it'll be past Christmas and New Year's, but I hope the new year keeps you happy and healthy and a really good place. And take care, everybody, and peace out.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's a place to be, you'll see.